Hey, hello everybody. It's Hot Rod Bob, and you've got gas, a special edition coming to you live and direct from my garage. Yes, we're in the garage. Peg's car's in the background. Bob Alderman's right here with me. We're going to talk to him about some important things going on. Faster than cancer is one of the things, and racing. And that's something, if you haven't seen Bob, it's because he's driving too fast past you. But we'll talk about that in just a bit. Hi Bob, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man. You're too kind. How are you?
I'm doing good. Now, you started out racing when you were just a kid on motocross.
Motocross, motorcycles.
Yeah, started from motocross, and that got you into sprint cars. How'd that happen?
No, that got me into off-road cars.
Off-road,
and then the off-road car went from off-road cars to go-karts.
Yeah.
Went from go-karts to three-quarter midgets.
Okay.
And from that, we probably went into sprint cars after that.
And you raced sprint cars for how long?
12 years.
12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you were one of the top guns.
Local.
But that's fine.
In our class. Not, there's a lot of guys, probably much faster guys.
There's always faster.
Always.
But you were consistent, you won.
Yes.
And you ran USAC sanctioned.
USAC sanctioned.
All right, so you had some fun with that. Tracks you raced at?
Ventura, Santa Maria, Paris, and Bakersfield.
You ever ran Ascot?
Oh yeah, Ascot.
Ascot.
Not in a sprint car. I ran Ascot motocross. I ran a buggy at Ascot for a minute, and I ran three-quarter midgets at Ascot, which was just a gas, small car, big track, lots of speed.
You stopped racing for a while. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But this past summer, you licensed at Bonneville.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Bonneville's, to me, I'm a student of racing. I love racing.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, the two biggest deals in America are the Indy 500 and Bonneville.
Okay.
Those are our races.
Sure.
Bonneville since the 40s and the Indy since 09.
Yeah.
So Bonneville was always on my bucket list, but I never pursued it. I never had an opportunity.
Okay.
My first crew chief in sprint cars, his name is Steve Wild. We call him Biggie. He's into land speed racing now, and he's for the last 10 years has a speed team, and him and George Petit drives it, and now Chris Ransky. That's been the fastest piston-driven streamliner for 10 years now.
Yeah.
And I was with Biggie not too long, however long ago, and the Bonneville thing came up, and we started talking, and I just kind of decided I wanted to go do that. It's less contact. It's not like a contact sport.
No.
Like
Yeah.
sprint cars.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about coming in contact anymore.
Yeah.
You're running by yourself. There's one vehicle on track on the race surface at a time.
Yes.
And it's all lane speed. You're not in competition with anyone else other than how fast you're going through these traps.
You're in competition with yourself,
Right.
which is the first thing.
Okay.
But the second thing is that if you're at Bonneville and you're serious, you're running for a record. So you're looking for a certain speed. So whatever that record is, I mean, there's vintage motorcycle classes that go 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And there's guys that plan their whole week around running 66 miles an hour, and it's awesome. It's racing. It doesn't matter. Speed's irrelevant. It's just a number. Well, that's not really true, but it is just a number. It's an amazing place. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And just to be part of that at least one time was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I'm trying to go back next year. We're trying to work a deal right now, and we'll see what happens.
And the plan is we'll see you up there because hopefully things will clear up pandemic-wise. And Jeff Stillwell, who's a friend of ours from Great Britain, he currently holds a record in his class, but that was with a smaller engine.
But 300 miles an hour, right?
It's where he wants to be. He's at 260 something right now with the record, 250 something with the record, but that was on 1,500 horsepower. He now has about 5,000 horsepower, detuned from 10,000, basically a funny car engine.
Mm-hmm.
And
now
300
that's tuned down to 1,500 because it needs to quit spinning the tires all the time.
Well, we'll see what happens. He's got a wing on it to try and get it down the ground, but that's the goal. Now, you're working on something right now it's a big project. You're working on it heavily. There's going to be a lot of promotion done. There's going to be a lot of assistance to people coming from this, including an awareness. And the goal and the title is Faster Than Cancer. So
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, I've had a history with cancer. I have prostate cancer. And, you know, for some reason or another, it keeps coming back. But I want to put the word out there about early detection. I want to put the word out there about diagnosis, about caregivers, about teams of doctors, about attitude, about diet, about exercise, about all the things that I feel are important to contribute to the wellness lifestyle of a cancer patient. And it's hard to explain what a cancer patient goes through unless you've been a cancer patient, as you know.
Yeah.
And Peg knows.
Yeah.
And my wife knows. But anyway, I don't feel that people look at treatment and the wellness and the disease part of it close enough when they get it, especially in the later stages. You get into the later stages and it becomes more of a, well, I'm going down that road. And then you gotta, all right, well, the doctor says I have to do this. So they go home and they take this circle and they look at that circle and they sit on the TV or sit on the couch and do whatever they're doing. And they say, well, the doctor says I have to do this to live, so I got to put a big 100% in that circle. And that circle doesn't work like that. That circle works like a pie, like you're slicing a piece of pie. At one point, you might need 90% of that, doctor, but at one point, you might need 40%. But you need 20% of this or 10% of that, and however that combination works to balance it out, those are the numbers you have to go through.
Okay.
And there's things that doctors don't tell you, and I'm all about medical. I have to be. I don't have a choice at this point. But you know, they're and I'm sorry, Dr. Wu, they're focused on the medical part of it,
right? And
that's what they do. I mean, they go to school for 14 years for that, you know, and thank God they do. We need the medicine part of it. But I truly believe that attitude's a huge part of it. I know that exercise is a huge part of it, and I know that early detection is a huge part of it. So at some point you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I'm not going to be defined by this at all, ever. So I'm going to figure out what I need. And it's hard to do when you're in the moment.
Right.
If you're not in the moment, if you're not in the emotion, you know as well as I do, you can look into people's situations and go, well, you know, I would do this, this, or this.
Sure.
And it's easy because you're looking at it through a different set of eyes. When you're in the emotion of it, you know, you have that OF moment, you know, and it's a very, very hard road because it's not something that, you know, you don't get another shot at it.
Well, but
you know?
Yeah, hopefully you keep getting shots at it.
But you have to survive long enough to get to whatever treatment is coming down the road or whatever's happening.
And things keep changing.
And they keep changing. They keep changing and changing.
Medications have changed, results have changed.
Dramatically since I was even diagnosed, it's been dramatic.
All right, so you're going to do Faster Than Cancer. You also had, and I didn't bring this up at the beginning, you were part of a TV show for a while.
I still am. I just got put on hold.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm on a show called Wrench Horse, and that's with brother JD and his wife Lexi. He's a star, and they're an amazing team. I've never had any aspirations to speak publicly or do anything like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I made it, I don't know, 60-some years with one public speaking engagement, and that was my best friend's funeral a few years ago, and that was just from the heart. It was pretty easy to do. But yeah, this Wrench Horse thing, I chanced onto it, and it was a lot of fun. It's a little backyard show, backyard build show. Very simple. it's not a big brand thing. You know,
No,
it's just a fun little show.
It's a fun show. Check it out.
And I went to do one show, the first show, and ended up doing 3 seasons,
Wow.
27 out of 30 shows.
Wow.
And it really opened my eyes to what's going on with the car culture, because I'm a racer. I just knew better than racing
Yeah.
my whole life, and you know, I love cars. I have cars, but as far as what's going on with the car culture and the people, it's a great culture. I have 2 families. I have my family, and I have my racing family. And the further I delve into this journey I'm on right now, I find that the car culture is so strong, and there's so many different people coming from so many different places that it becomes like a family also.
Yep.
And I haven't asked anybody for anything, and doors keep opening. You know, and it's just it's a beautiful thing, to be honest with you.
And now, maybe my fault, maybe not, you're getting immersed in hot rodding and drag racing.
Yeah, that's your fault. For sure.
For sure.
I'll
take credit for it.
Anyway, I went through something, and I'm kind of on the other side of it right now, but there's a lot of stories behind it, and there's a lot of reasons I got where I was, but I ended up getting in a sprint car, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. I'd been down for quite a while, and they did a track day, and Biggie called me and said, "Hey, you still have your gear?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I got my gear." And he goes, "Well, we're going to do a track day." And I said, "Oh, I got to check with my doctor on this and that and the other thing." And he said, "Well, get on it." And we did that. Well, actually I didn't. But anyway, we went on to track day with the sprint car, and I got to tell you, it was so good for me emotionally that it carried me for a couple of weeks easily. I ran a 2-engine go-kart, vintage go-kart, like a 120-mile-an-hour go-kart, whatever it was. In that same period of time with my buddy Mike, Big Mike Golombesky, he owns Speed Parts. It's a mail-order go-kart place. And we were talking. He said, "Hey, we're going to go do a practice day. You want to go?" And I really shouldn't have gone at that point, because I wasn't really healthy enough to do that. But I did go, and struggled through it, and came home and was cooking dinner and singing in the kitchen, and I felt good for a week. And I figured out, well, when you take that big circle, now that you got this much of the doctor down to this much of the doctor and this much of this here, you need to put a little bit of racing in there.
Yep.
You know, just a little bit of passion therapy. So now I'm doing all I can to do that safely, because I'm a little compromised, and you know, I can't really crash. You know, and crashing's a part of sprint car racing. You know, you're not trying hard enough. So I reached out to you about something, and you invited me to Irwindale, and off we went. And I'm on your way to Irwindale, and you're on my way to Irwindale, and we started riding together and going in the carpool lane. And I went down there and sat in the booth, and not a big drag racing fan, but figured it out and listened to you, and enjoyed. I enjoyed the night. It's an open practice night every Thursday night. I love the fact that they're bringing kids and people in from the street and giving them a place to do that instead of doing it on the street.
Right.
You know, we still have the street children. But they've done an incredible job with Irwindale. They put in a burnout box, and it's just a great facility. It's a great night, and I went to Bonneville and licensed up, and I came back, and you know, that was last month. So what are you going to do now? You know, so I have a therapy Triumph, Bonneville, that my uncle gifted me, and I couldn't ride it for a long time, so we put it in the garage and blew it apart and put it back together, and went down to a motorcycle show on a Thursday, and you know, for an extra $20 you can make a pass if you want, or as many passes, and I really enjoyed it. I'm not a bike racer, I'm a car racer, and I love motorcycles, they're my first love, but you know, it's a 50-year-old love affair gone the other way, you know. So I ended up cutting the reaction time is really important in drag racing, which I had no idea how that worked. But I cut a .185 light at the end of the night on the bike, on a pro light, and I was driving down there the next week with Bob, and I was thinking to myself, you know, you're a car guy, you cut a .185 on a bike, the tree's a little different for the cars.
Yeah.
Maybe you should see what you can do in a car. So we ran a car down there, and I think we made 5 or 6 passes, and we cut a minus. I red lighted, of course I did. We cut a -001.
Mm-hmm.
And you gave me a pen.
I sure did.
And I cherished that pen. I told my wife, I said, this is one of the biggest things I've ever done in racing. She goes, you gotta be kidding. What, I don't understand this. I said, no, it's a big deal, believe me. And then now the car's parked, and I'm working on the bike, and we're down to, we've run 2 weeks now on this? This is our second week? And the second week we got down to .040 on the bike on the pro light. So I'm racing.
You're racing, you're having fun. You found a new sport.
I found a new sport.
New aspect of the sport. We talked about you motocross, motorcycles.
Yes, sir.
But drag racing is completely different. You had rapid acceleration right from the start on motocross, but no one was timing the start.
Right.
They don't time the laps. Just who gets there first.
Right.
With drag racing, it's a whole different story. You're timing from the time the light goes green until you get to the finish line.
Yes.
So you're seeing your progress, you're seeing your aptitude to doing it, and you're seeing what the bike or the vehicle, regardless of whether it's a car or a bike, is doing. And you've got to make it work that way.
Yes.
So now it's more challenges.
It's a challenge.
It's not just hit the throttle and go. There are challenges. There are things you need to learn. We talked about this on one of our trips. Richard Petty, King Richard, dominated NASCAR. Couldn't drag race. Tried, but wasn't successful. You're now being successful. You're working it out. You're getting through. You're passionate about the competition. And the competition isn't with the vehicle next to you. It's the competition within.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. And it goes back to attitude.
Yeah.
And it goes back to what motivates you and what makes you tick and this and that. I'm really, really, really passionate about getting this word out about stage 4 cancer and lifestyle and wellness and not being defined by it. And you know, I'm really happy right now doing what I'm doing, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm trying to make lemonade out of lemons. Chemo brand. And by doing that, I hope that I'm coming across in a motivational way. This isn't about, oh, look at what Bob's doing. I don't care about what I'm doing. What I'm doing has nothing to do with what I'm doing. It's a platform for what I'm doing.
Right.
I'm fortunate enough to have that platform, but it's a small part of the word that I'm trying to get out. And with the motivation, you know, I'm 67 years old on top of having, you know, a little bit of health issue. I don't think cancer patients need to go out and run Bonneville or drag race or jump out of an airplane or do anything like that. But they need to go out and ride a bike. They need to go walk. They need to exercise. They need to find some kind of passion that they had when they were kids. Prostate cancer is men. excuse me for saying this, but men are stubborn, they're difficult. But you know, you got to find the passion within. You got to go back to when you were 12 years old and you hit that home run.
Yeah.
And there was nothing in the world that was more exhilarating than that home run. And then you got to, if it takes that to find the passion, then you got to use that. If you need to use other examples, think about someone breaking into your house with your wife and your kids in there and threatening you. You're going to fight to the death for that not to happen. And when cancer comes, it's breaking into your house and it's trying to take your life away.
Right, so Faster Than Cancer is the program that's going to start. You're working on that. You've got the ground rules set.
Mm-hmm.
You're planning a car show at this point to bring people, make people aware of it in Malibu, California.
Not a car show.
Not a car show.
No, not a car show. We're planning an event.
Okay.
And that event is going to have several different elements. Nobody wants to talk about cancer. It's a horrible subject. And when people know somebody that has cancer, they don't know how to talk to them. And I'd like to change that a little bit. It doesn't have to be that way. And a lot of it is from the way the cancer patient feels. And cancers, they just have to change their thinking. They just don't have a choice. But we're going to put on an awareness event.
Okay.
We're going to have music. We're going to have food. We'll probably have Easy Up set up, and we'll have an oncologist, a therapist, a patient, or this or that, and just walk around and listen to what's going on and try and educate a little bit more on the cancer situation and try and get people to do early detection.
All right, and we'll help you with that. We're going to be promoting it. I'll be there.
You will.
We're going to move that on. Faster Than Cancer. Keep an eye out for this. You're going to see it at Irwindale Drag Strip. You're going to see it at the special event you're putting on, and many other places coming your way, including you're working on a possible documentary.
We are working on a documentary.
Okay.
The problem with the documentary, Bob, is that I don't understand all the intricacies of that. I can build a house, but I don't know how I can't turn on a camera. I don't, well, it doesn't matter what. I feel that it's counterproductive for me to do a documentary about cancer and about how to early detection and how to do all this stuff when it takes a year or two to get it out there.
Right.
So what we're doing now is we are doing the Faster Than Cancer documentary. We're filming, we're in production, but in the meantime, I want to get not so much the Faster Than Cancer name out there, but I do, but I also want to get my message out there about the early detection, and I want to get it out there yesterday. And I've been working on this for a while, and you know, it gets to the point where if you can see it, you can do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I'm at.
Okay.
And I don't know a lot about some of the things I'm doing, but I have people like you that are gracious enough to help me out and have the same passion for that. I mean, we're car guys. I mean, we love cars, and to be able to take that passion and move it and put it somewhere else,
mm-hmm.
it's exhilarating.
All right. Faster Than Cancer. Keep an eye out for it. You're going to see more of it. I'll be talking more about it as we go along. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas. Brought to you by Faster Than Cancer and Service Tech Equipment. I'm Hot Rod Bob. You've got gas. A special edition. We'll be doing more of these as time goes by. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the quality of the show has been good for you. Sound, video. We'll do more, and we'll see you on a regular basis. Bob Alderman, Bob Beck, the Bobs. Have a great day, folks. Sorry, we gotta go now.